Now introducing Rachel.
Yay! Alright. Grandma redefines YOLO. For those of you who don't know what YOLO is, Y-O-L-O, it's you only live once. To be honest, I don't even like the term YOLO and all the drunk, crazy college kids that come with it, but I really like how Grandma has captured its meaning. And obviously I love my grandma and I could sit here and talk for hours about her, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet, just like Grandma. Right. The first reason I admire Grandma is because of who she is, and to put it simply, she's popular, as evidenced by her hot girl pose in this picture. I called her up the other day to ask her some questions about her lovely little life, and she had no problem telling me about how popular she was in high school. She was the senior football queen. She dated the high school quarterback and married him, my grandpa. And she was band queen for 3 years running, and she played the saxophone in the jazz band. In addition to this, she told me about how she was the president of her booster club. She said that she remembers she had to address the audience a lot in speeches, obviously because she was the booster president, and she said she wore this long skirt, and everybody in the audience could just see it shaking because she was shaking so bad, much like I did on my very first speech in this class. But eventually she got over it just like I did, now it's alright. But everybody who meets my grandma falls in love with her. She finds friends everywhere she goes. When she went to Mexico with my mom, they met a Latin dance teacher and he asked her to lunch. I also admire Grandma because she's just a really strong, awesome woman. She had 10 kids in 12 years, and no, I don't admire the babies, but I admire the fact that she was able to hold this household of 10 little children. And that gave me 26 cousins, and I love her for that because they are my best friends. My grandma's got the personality where she thinks kids are just kids, and that's exactly how it should be. That makes for one of those loving grandmas, not those mean ones. In addition to this, this is a picture of all her children. In addition to this, my grandfather was in the military, and so he had to serve overseas in Germany and Saudi Arabia. So Grandma was left home with all these 10 crazy children all the time. And something I also admire about her is that even though my grandpa passed away before I was born, she still signs my birthday cards with "Love, Grandma and Grandpa," which shows that even though he passed away, her love never left. I also like Grandma because she's just a boss, plain and simple. This picture is at the demilitarized zone in Korea, which I spelled wrong, but basically North and South Korea don't get along, little history lesson. And where you see those soldiers, that's where North Korea is, and she's standing in South Korea. Basically, she's 20 feet away from her deathbed. There are snipers pointed guns at her at this moment in this picture, because you can't cross that line or you're going to get shot. Another thing that Grandma did, which is pretty awesome, climbed the Great Wall of China. That's her right there, taking a helping hand from my uncle. She was, I don't know, maybe like 70-something. Oh, well, I don't have a picture of this, but Grandma also learned how to ski at the age of 75. She's obviously a very independent, strong-willed woman. I know one time she was at the airport with my dad, and they addressed my dad and said, "Do you think she needs help or getting onto the plane?" And the counter is about this tall, and Grandma's about this tall, and she jumps up over the counter. "Do I look like I need help?" Obviously, nobody assisted her to the airplane at that point. And in addition to this, Grandma has the lovely ability to laugh at herself. An example of this, she went to the beach on the East Coast a couple weeks ago, and she was laying out with my aunt and my uncle and all that great stuff because she's hot stuff. And these college kids, being college kids, walking by, and my aunt yelled, "Hey, it's her 80th birthday!" And all of the college kids stood up and screamed happy birthday to her and started singing. And my grandmother, her 80-year-old self, danced the whole time. from my grandma to be a strong, independent woman, just like her. The most important lesson I've learned is to laugh at myself, because obviously she has learned to do that. She gets herself into these shenanigans all the time, and I guess that's genetic because I do that too. So basically, learn to laugh at yourself.